Today I'm training with IFBB Pro, Classic Physique, Danilo. And what are you training today?
Back. Some back.
You're going to train some back. I'm going to do light stuff in the background, but today's about you. I want to see how a bodybuilder trains to build his back. Okay. Now, give us a bit of a plan for today.
So we are going to deadlift today. We're going to do some conventional deadlifts, but I'm going to start off with cable pullovers. That'll be my first technical exercise. It's going to be more so to warm my lats up, to prime for deadlifts.
Yep.
We'll move into deadlift as the main compound movement. And then after that, we'll go into a little bit of rows and some pull downs to finish off.
Cool. So something that I love about this is the difference between the way that I would do deadlifts to Danilo. I do deadlifts on my lower body day, or I even say I do deadlifts on deadlift day, right? Now you're training back and you're doing deadlifts on back day.
Correct.
So this is a really common question that I get asked is, do you do deadlifts on lower body day or upper body day? As I said, for me, it's kind of lower body, but it's deadlift day. And you're doing it to build your back. Correct. So what type of deadlift are you going to be doing?
I'll do more conventional today.
Yeah.
If I ever do them on leg days, that's why I do more of a stiff leg or I do an RDL.
I got you. Okay, so when you do a conventional deadlift, that is because you're developing upper back or back.
Yeah, I get a lot more back involved doing a conventional.
Okay, and is there a muscle in particular that you're working towards with the deadlift?
Just overall back thickness and traps too.
Yeah.
Standing at the top.
Yeah, you know, for me, I would, but it's like, of course I would. I'm a strength athlete. It's my bias. I want to have a big deadlift.
Yes.
But a lot of bodybuilders will say, deadlift is not a good exercise for a bodybuilder.
They would.
Yet you're a pro and you deadlift.
I do.
What gives?
I personally love deadlifting.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movement. I think it's very fun.
Yeah.
First off, just from a standpoint of what you like to lift.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a good base for any beginners to start off with, because I deadlifted for the first couple years of when I got into bodybuilding, and it put on a lot of muscle very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a full rounded movement, especially if you're doing conventional, and I think everybody should try them if they haven't, and it can be very good to add in the program.
Yeah. So, of course, you're preaching to the choir. I think that everyone should deadlift, but you know, my bias is strength and functionality.
Correct.
And I say when I'm training a beginner, teaching a bend pattern, I believe is a fundamental movement pattern.
It is.
And then you've just got so many people with different opinions, and one of my opinions is you should do what you enjoy.
Absolutely.
So as a bodybuilder, not everyone deadlifts as bodybuilders, but some of them don't think that you can't do it if you're a bodybuilder. So we're going to see your technique as well.
Okay.
So once again, we did a bench press session yesterday, and something that I did with Danilo was I showed him my technique and he showed me his technique, and we both played around. So what I'm going to do is not even tell you what my technique is. Obviously, you do them well.
Right.
So you're going to tell us how you do it.
Perfect.
And then maybe I'll see how you do it and say if there's a few tips that I can give you, because I do like to teach people how to deadlift. But at the same time, I want you to teach me a few things.
That
Good
works.
man. Let's get into it.
I personally like doing cable just because of the resistance profile on it. But if you have a lat pull down machine, the one in the Dorian pullover, Dorian Yates always used that one. I do like that one a lot, but I just prefer cable because of the resistance profile is a little bit different than dumbbell. Oh, my traps are actually sore.
I like how you did that so much that I'm going to do it too.
Perfect.
So can you give me some pointers? What are we looking to do?
Yes, so with this, I'm letting the weight pull me forward. I'm just going to pull your lats, and then as you come up, you're picking yourself up.
How much do I stand?
Upright? 45 to 60 degrees. Okay. That's perfect, yeah.
So
just let the weight bring you forward.
You are almost kind of 90
Correct,
degrees
yeah.
type of
you
thing.
let the weight bring you
Full
forward.
stretch
really
of the
let
lats,
it stretch your lats out.
and then stand a little bit.
Yep.
And what rep range are you doing here?
10 to 12. So for anyone that might ask about the technique of doing it, letting the weight just bring you forward, it's going to stretch your lats a little bit more. And then as we're pulling up, it's going to take that pressure off of your shoulder versus staying here the whole time and trying to drive your hands to your hips.
So that's, yeah, right. So that kind of doesn't feel like it hits the spot.
Right.
But standing up here feels a much bigger contraction in the lats when I'm doing this.
Yes.
So is lats the target muscle with this
Main
exercise?
Focus, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And these you can do with so many grips. You can do straight bar, you can use the ropes. There's so many different handles you can use.
So the rope was already set on this. Is
Correct.
that what you would have chosen
I like
for this?
using the rope just because I can move it around a little bit more. A straight bar, you're just going to be in more of a fixed position.
Nice.
Which
Feels
I mean, that depends on stability and how advanced someone is at training. I'd say if I had someone that was a beginner doing these, I'd probably have them use a straight bar.
Yeah.
So they're not like this.
Yeah.
Around.
They don't have the options
Correct.
to move around. Yeah. So I'm doing no timer here. We're just going, you go, I go, you go, I go.
Yes.
Which kind of is the right amount of rest between your sets anyway, right?
Yeah. Feels it's around that 60 to 90 second rest time.
That feels like a very deep contraction in my lats.
You got a little bit.
You know,
of
it's an exercise, it's unfamiliar, so maybe that's why it feels like it's a harder contraction maybe than what it feels for you, but I definitely don't feel this usually when I'm doing my normal rows or anything.
No, I think it's a great movement. It's you get such a your range of motion on this can be a lot greater than you know just a standard lat pull down. I still do pull downs, but I like these just because you can get a very good stretch in your lats.
Yeah, I feel that. And you go up every set?
Yeah, I'll go up about one pin every single set, especially if I'm doing these before deadlifts. I'm not taking these to 100% failure.
Yeah.
Maybe leaving 2 reps in reserve or so.
So it's still kind of a warm-up for your deadlift?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, if I'm doing these before deadlifts, it's more of a warm-up. If I don't have deadlifts, then this will be one of my main movements where I'll take it more towards failure on each set. So I'll do, if you guys hear anyone ever talk about feeder sets, it's just to feel the weight. I'll do a couple of them before my actual working set just to get my body used to the amount of weight that I'm doing. And in terms of the weight, ideally I'd like to go up each set, but working within that rep range, if I'm doing 10 to 15, my first set, if I hit 15, I know I might have went a little bit too light, so I'll go up maybe an extra pin or 2, and then I'll gauge if I'm gonna go up the next set depending on what I did for my reps. If I'm at the bottom of that rep range, I'll do that weight again for the second set to see if I can match it, and then if that's the case, I'll keep it the same, or I might go up one more pin to see if I can go a little bit heavier, but match the same rep range. Overall progressive overload, because there's so many different ways you can do it with reps, with weight, with tempo, and that's why it's important to periodize your training. As we hear that quite frequently. That's what, 3 sets?
3.
Yeah, do a fourth one.
Yep. I feel pumped in my lats, which is nice. So yesterday when I did the upper body session, my normal session was normally push and pull. So I'll do a press and then I'll superset with a row or a pull down. But when I was training with Danilo, we just did all of the pushing muscles. So we did bench press, then we did flies, and then we did some lateral raises, and that was a session, which means I didn't do my back. So today I am doing just lats. So I feel like it's a pretty easy session compared to what I would normally do, which is nice. All right, I'll do one more set. Okay, Danilo, before you do deadlifts, I was just talking about my training, about how I normally do push and pull in the same day, and I kind of superset between the two. So yesterday, I kind of followed your lead and we just did the push muscles, and today you're doing pull. So I know you're on holidays and all that, but what is your typical split?
Usually it's a modified push-pull legs, so I'll start the week off on Monday with legs.
How many days a week? Let's start with that.
5.
5 days a week.
5 training days.
Right,
yes.
so day 1?
It'll be a posterior focus leg day.
Yeah.
And then second is a push day. So Tuesday we'll do chest, shoulders, triceps.
Yep.
Wednesday's rest. Thursday will be my pull day.
Yep.
So back and biceps.
Yep.
Friday is an all-around leg day. And then Saturday is actually a full upper body. Okay. So I'll do chest and back, and then I'll do shoulders and arms.
So your posterior focused lower body day, no quadriceps.
I'll finish off on leg extensions.
So
I add
a little bit of quadriceps.
in, yes.
Okay, and then on your other full lower body day, you're doing quadriceps and obviously hamstrings as well.
Yes.
Okay, so you're pretty much doing how many times per week per body part?
Pretty much 2 times a week.
2 times per week per body part. Okay, I like that split.
It's a good way to hit everything evenly, but also have enough space to recover.
Totally. Yeah, it sounds like it's spread out very evenly. I'm just trying to think, for me, for my squats and deadlifts, they interfere with each other a lot.
Right.
And so like that's why I'm not going to deadlift today. I deadlifted on Monday. Okay. Today's Wednesday. So when Danilo said, you're going to deadlift me, my answer was absolutely not. I'm just going to do all of the other upper back stuff. That's so okay. Show me how you deadlift. Let's do it. Nice. In my opinion, stance is a little bit wider and his grip is a little bit wider than normal. However, his job as a bodybuilder isn't to be as efficient as possible. When I bring people stance in and grip in, it's so that they travel along a lesser distance. Having the arms straight down means your arms are longer and it's more efficient. Now, a bodybuilder doesn't really care about efficiency. It's kind of like stimulating the muscle. So in my opinion, I'd look at that and say, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, like if your hips are in the right position, your knees in the right position and everything, I quite like that.
A little bit closer if you
No, look, I don't think you should. Okay. I think I would. So a lot of the times I say things like bring your stance in, that's for efficiency.
Right.
And so efficiency means less input, more output.
Exactly.
Which means it's not as stimulating for muscle growth to be more efficient.
Right.
So when it comes to bodybuilding, you want to intentionally increase the range of motion sometimes, right? But with that, I think, in my opinion, I don't want to change you today.
Okay.
I want to learn how you would do it to stimulate muscle growth. Okay. And it looks like you're doing very similar things to what I would do. Now, rep range.
Yes.
That's a warm-up. We don't count that. What reps are you going to be working towards today?
8 to 10 today, do a little bit lighter on reps.
Do you use straps?
Heavier. Yes, I have them.
I like using them for obviously any heavy deadlifts, just because it helps keep your grip a little bit more, but especially with doing back exercises. Like I said, I had a big problem when I first started bodybuilding to where I used a lot of my biceps, and that's why I had big arms and just no back, and it didn't look right. So now I started using straps just to help take my biceps out of any movement, but especially for deadlifts because grip can slip a little bit, but that bar has a really good knurling on it. So if you have a really good bar and you have chalk, you might not need straps. I just like to use them as a safety net to have them.
You know, I'm even looking at it as a power lifter. And I was saying that he'd have a wider stance than I'd normally suggest, but even there, it's just like, it just looks exactly how I would do it as a powerlifter.
Really?
Yeah, which is nice for me to know that, like a lot of the times as a powerlifting coach, I work with bodybuilders and they're like, oh, how do you think I should do this? And I always say, you know what, I'm a powerlifter, so it probably doesn't relate to you that well, because I always think, a bodybuilder looks at what I do and thinks that has nothing, that's probably going to do bad things for me or whatever it is. But it's often quite refreshing to see these are good exercises for bodybuilders, for everyone. It's a bend pattern. Bending over and picking stuff up off the ground makes you strong, firstly. But secondly, for my own muscularity, I'm not the best deadlifter. I'm a great bencher. I've got shorter arms, which is a great advantage for benching because I don't have to travel as far. But with a deadlift, shorter arms is a disadvantage. You have to travel a lot further. So as a powerlifter, my squats and bench presses were really, really good, but my deadlift was always my weakest link. And because of that, I didn't enjoy it as much, right? So therefore I neglected it. Yes. So I'd go through a lot of phases where I'd do lots of squats and I'd kind of like just half-ass my deadlift workout. And then I'd look at my physique in the mirror and often think, my traps are shrinking.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of one of my favorite exercises, to build traps, actually. So it's like, I work with the strongest deadlifter in the world, and that's Thor Bjornsson, in case you didn't realize. His traps are massive, right? And it's like, what do you do for traps? He actually doesn't do traps. He deadlifts. So tell me, what muscles on your body would you say that this benefits most?
If I'm doing conventional, traps for sure. Yep. And then I'd say it's equal along my whole posterior because I'm getting a little bit of glute, I'm getting a little bit of hamstring, and I am getting a little bit within my back throughout my lats. But the most, especially when it's heavy, is when you are at the top, your traps do take a lot of that load. It's just like doing a farmer's carry except without walking with you, standing there. Right?
Yeah, good. So bodybuilders out there,
start deadlifting.
Start deadlifting. Nice. Very smooth. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I've heard that squats and deadlifts thicken your core. What's your opinion on that?
I don't think they thicken your core. I think they build a stronger abdominal wall. And I think, especially for someone like Mitch, for example, he doesn't train abs anymore.
Who's Mitch? Mitch Little?
Little, yes.
Yeah, right, okay.
He hasn't trained abs in years.
Yeah.
Obviously, he does calisthenics.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of core strength, but he has deadlifted quite a bit, squatted quite a bit, and he still continues to do those things which indirectly work your core.
Yep.
And I think anyone that says they thicken it, I don't really think that's true. Now, if you do direct oblique training, your waist is going to look bigger because you're building that muscle, but if you build your lats, build your shoulders more, it's going to make your waist appear smaller.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about core training now that we're on that topic.
Okay.
As a bodybuilder, do you train your core?
Yes.
What are your favorite exercises and what are you trying to achieve?
I do more straight movements. I want to get as much spinal flexion as I can.
Yep.
So hanging leg raises are the best. If we do the
So
crunch
the
machine,
target there is rectus abdominis.
Yes.
So that's the six-pack muscles.
Yes.
Yep. So leg raises.
I'll do leg raises, and then if there's a good crunch machine to do, I'll set the seat as low as I can. So I can get as much of that spinal flexion.
So you get the stretch as well.
Because you
as
see
the
a lot of
contraction.
people, they'll sit down and just do this.
Laying on your back is just the shortened position.
Correct.
So you like to get the lengthened as well.
Yes.
Good.
Or on a decline bench as well. Doing decline sit-ups. I'll stretch my arms as far back as I can.
Nice.
And come up. Because a lot of the time you see people in the gym, like I said, they'll sit down and they just do this. And they think it's going to build your abs.
True.
And if you can try and get as much spinal flexion as you can, you're going to get a lot more.
How many times a week are you training that?
Twice.
Twice a week. Do you do obliques as well?
I used to, but then that's when I was like, oh, my waist looks bigger, even though it wasn't getting bigger. I already had pretty developed oblique muscles from baseball. From the swinging
from the
motion.
rotation.
Correct. So I completely stopped training those. So the only direct ab training I do is
rectus abdominis, sagittal plane,
correct,
flexion work.
But if you're someone that wants to build your obliques and you want your obliques to look good, I say still train them.
And then this as well does a bit of abdominal works as well.
Absolutely.
Good. I need to do my ab work too.
Yeah, a little 4. Bass, did that look okay?
It looked great.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I'll give you some feedback.
Yeah, I love it. Any feedback?
I think that a lot of the times bodybuilders are strong, right? A lot of people say bodybuilders aren't strong, size doesn't matter, all of that. Look at the best powerlifters are smaller than bodybuilders and they're lifting more weight. And I say that's because they are practicing low rep ranges and they're practicing the specific skill. So Danilo just said, what was the rep range? 10 to 12?
8 to 10.
8 to 10 rep range for a conventional deadlift. Do you ever do low reps for a conventional deadlift?
The lowest I've done has been 6.
The lowest you've done is 6. And what's the most weight you've done for that rep range?
6, I did 5 1/4, which...
Yeah, okay, so that's probably about 240 kilograms.
Yeah.
Which for 6 reps, I'll be honest with you, I bet you it was reps in reserve as well.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, okay, so it must have been hard. A little bit. It's still a decent weight, but I often look at bodybuilders and I say, the work that they're doing is not always about lifting the heaviest weight, it's about stimulating muscle. We're gonna have a look at what he does today, and I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be more in the tank. However, one thing that I think will make it easier, you're not taking the slack out of the bar. Okay, so what I'm seeing, if you have a look at his first repetition, from 0 to just banging it up off the ground, and you can see his body's shaking from 0 to boom, 0, and he rips it off the ground, and you can even hear it. So what I like to say is, so listen to this. So listen to this, right? One cue that I like to give is take the noise out of the bar. So take the noise out, and then when you lift it up, there should be no noise. But you can take the noise out of the bar without taking the slack out of the bar. So the cues that I like to give is this. I want to feel, so stay there, stay there. I want you to feel tension like that before you lift. And I want you to think about it like tension on your arms, reach your head towards the ceiling, and bend the bar slightly. Once you're there, then the objective is push the world away. Let's try and do that. This is me nitpicking the hell out of you.
No, that's fine. I want that.
I see it like, I'm not teaching, like you're objectively not trying to get a 1 rep max. So it's like the rep work, it doesn't matter as much because it's easy regardless. However, this will make it easier. And I think that if it was easy for you, you'd add a little bit more weight. And I think load is king. I think the more weight you lift, the greater the potential for muscle growth. Yes, so anyway, absolutely. Let's see.
Okay.
This was smart. Instead of adding weight and trying a new technique, what I often say is earn the right to add weight to the bar. So instead of adding weight and trying something new, we're using the exact same weight. Okay, so from here, what I want you to think about, sit into position, reach your head towards the ceiling, reach it, bend the bar a little bit, bend it, now stand. Out of position a little bit, let's try it again. Feel the position, stretch, then stand. Do it one more, your hips are too low. So stretch, hips a bit higher, hips a bit higher. Good, now stand. Good, good. Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
So was he doing
took that away from yesterday.
He changed his eye position from start to finish. That was a good call, Maria. So that's something that we like to teach, is to keep your eyes locked on the same spot from start to finish. And quite often, I like to say, pick a spot about 3 to 4 meters on the floor in front of you, and I'll often put something on the floor and I'll say, keep your head there. Now, what that means is, when you're down in the bottom position, your eyes are up here, which means if you look side view, my head is slightly extended, my neck is slightly extended. But then when I lock out, I'm still eyes on the same spot. So my chin is tucked at the lockout. Now what that does is, when a lot of people kind of like look down at the bottom and then they look up at the top, they often extend excessively, which is no good. And they're also bending the knees. So tucking the chin at the top, lock the knees, and you're kind of nice and vertical, and you're not leaning back too much.
I wanted to ask you before you ended that is, because you hear a lot of people saying, because when you say keep your hips higher, I've seen a lot of people that deadlift, they try to sink their hips as low as they can in a deadlift.
Interesting. So hips higher isn't a cue that I give. If they're too low, I'll say hips higher. Okay. Or if they're too high, I'll say hips lower. So for you, that's one thing that I saw is, and this is another common thing you think about a common thing you see when people are learning how to take the slack out of the bar. Your focus wasn't on position. Your focus was on bending the bar here, but you sat too low to do that, right? So the next ones were like, no, your hips are too low. Watch this. When your hips are too low, I'll just demonstrate here. When the hips are too low, so the barbell's in line with the midfoot. When the hips are too low, the shins push forward, and it pushes the barbell away from the center of your base of support. So what you want to do is sweet spot. So you are about here. The bar's not going to leave the ground in this position. Your hips have to get out of the way. So what we want to do is have the hips in the exact sweet spot, which isn't actually high hips, it's hips just right.
Okay.
Right?
I'll do that again with this way.
Yeah, try it again. So, the idea, hips. So this is how low. All right, so check this out, right? How low should the hips be in a deadlift? For everybody, it's different depending on your bone length and your proportions, right? The barbell needs to be, for everybody, in line with the center of your base of support, which is your midfoot. From here, what I want you to do is step a little bit further back, just a little bit further back. No, a bit further forward, come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward, so the bar's in line with your midfoot. Now what you want to do is bend the knees as much as you can until the shins gently touch. From here, don't bend your hips lower than that, but reach your head towards the ceiling. Head towards the ceiling, armpits to pelvis, bend the bar, and then push the world away. Good, and again. Armpits, head to ceiling, stretch and push. Excellent, good. That's the sweet spot for you. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. So you bend as much as you can so your shins gently touch the bar, and that's as deep as your hips should be.
Okay. It felt better. It felt better than the first time you had me adjust it.
Exactly. And often when I say to someone, give me another rep, that's the problem with the deadlift. We're starting with the concentric.
Right.
With a squat and a bench press, we start with the eccentric. It puts us in a nice position.
Yes.
But we are starting from zero and we have to create tension from nothing, which is why the second repetition is often easier than the first. Are you considering this could be a first top set?
Yes, depending on how it feels.
Yep. So, okay, right. So halfway, you're going to dictate after the first rep if this is a set or not.
Correct.
Okay. And if it is a set, what reps? 8?
8 to 10, yeah.
Okay.
8 to
All right.
All right.
Okay, so bar over midfoot, sit into position, stretch, head to ceiling. Nice, nice. Good. Yeah, good. Beautiful, they're just getting better, man.
Yeah, come on.
5. Beautiful, beautiful.
You got it, D. World away.
6. Yeah, easy.
Push. Push the world.
7.
Push the world. Yeah.
3 to go.
You got it, D. Push.
8. 2 more. Nice. Let's get it. 2 more.
Really strong.
Yeah.
Up.
Beautiful. Last one.
Again.
Easy. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Not bad.
They got better and better technically, which often happens with a deadlift. I would say like by the 3rd rep, you're in your groove.
Yeah.
For breathing, when you have reps like up to 10,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? You can't hold your breath for all 10 reps, right? So
No way. I only hold my breath. So that's a great question. And some of you may have heard me say it before with my bench press. I like to hold my breath from the unrack until the end of the last repetition, but I'll only do that on the bench press because I'm laying down in a bench press. I never tell people to do that while you're standing. You will absolutely pass out. So I hold my breath whenever you're moving. You're using straps. So for me, if I don't use straps, I'll take my brace here. I'll take a big breath and I'll brace from the top and then I'll pick it up and then I'll exhale at the top, right? But you, because you're strapped here, you have to strap up here, then you go, exhale at the top, and then you don't need a belly full of air to drop the weight. So Romanian deadlift, you're lowering the weight under control. Conventional deadlift, it's kind of just a controlled drop. So I like to just say, hold your breath before you lift it, and then exhale at the top, and then it's a controlled drop, so it doesn't matter. But then before you're about to lift again, that's kind of what my breathing's like. Now, RDL, I'm kind of like this. I'm kind of like,
Just going breath in at the top.
kind of like a squat. No, exactly like a squat. Now, moment of truth, Mr. 90 seconds. How much?
I'll do 90 seconds on this one.
No, before the 90 seconds on this one. I think that's good advice.
This will take a couple minutes.
Yeah, I would personally, if I was to do a set of 10 on a deadlift, I'll be 8 minutes,
8 minutes,
bro.
yeah.
I'd be 8 minutes.
See, I think I was a little ambitious when I said 90 seconds.
So, say that again.
I think I was ambitious when I said 90 seconds.
Right.
For compound
but
movements.
I think there's a difference between upper body and lower body.
Right.
And it's exercise specific.
Yes. Yeah. Deadlifts. I'd say out of deadlifts, squat and bench deadlifts, I'd take the longest rest.
For sure.
Squats would be second. Bench would be third.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Right.
I'm with you on that one. So that means 10 minutes on a deadlift, 9 minutes on a squat, 8 minutes on the bench. Is
That's
that what you're
perfect.
saying?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Do you use belts or any accessories other than this?
If I'm going for a 1 rep max on a deadlift, I will. But this is something Baz can talk about too. A lot of people wear lifting belts wrong, is they wear it at the belly button, when in reality you want to actually wear it a little bit higher. And this is what I thought was incorrect when I first started training. I thought you were supposed to put it at your belly button, but you do want to place that a little bit higher right under your rib cage. And the problem is majority of people, when they use a belt, the core stability is not as good, and they're trusting the belt to help them with the weight. You still need to have a stable core.
So I like using no belt. I mean, even up until my top set, it depends on how I feel, but I built such a strong core and lower back. I don't feel as if I need to use one. And like I said, if it's a very, very heavy top set, I will, just for extra stability, but I'm still keeping in mind the whole time to keep my core tight. So a lot of people will put on a belt and then they let their core loose. And that's where you see injuries happen.
I haven't seen how you use a belt, but I know that bodybuilders even use a different type of a belt.
Correct.
So for a powerlifter,
Bodybuilders don't use lever belts.
right, but often they have the tapered ones as well. So
Yes.
so it's thick at the back and then it tapers in at the front.
Correct.
Whereas I look at that and it's like, that's not the mechanism of a belt.
Right.
It's not put it on the back because you want to protect the back. It's put it on the core because you want those muscles to be pushing out into the belt.
Yes.
So to have a tapered part on the belt kind of doesn't really make sense.
Right.
So for me, this is how I like to use it. You don't want to use your belt now, do you? But the way that I would do it, that's correct, is lower down here.
A lot of people put it lower.
Yeah,
And they don't
because,
realize that it's not.
because I think it's because they're trying to put it around their back and they don't think about the abs. So higher up in a position that's comfortable to push into it.
Yes.
Yeah, good, I agree.
How often do you max out in deadlifts?
Oh man, I haven't maxed out in years. Maybe since I was 20, and that was 5 years ago. If you're powerlifting, I think you should be, right? You should be doing your 1 rep maxes to see where you are, but a lot of gym pop people, obviously guys like to go into the gym and they go, oh, that's 1 rep, it's gonna be so much fun. As guys, it's fun to pick up a ton of weight and drop it or put it on our backs and squat, but unless you're powerlifting, I don't think doing 1 rep maxes is beneficial, and there's more risk to injury unless you're doing it for like a comp prep. But for me as a bodybuilder especially, 1 rep maxing would not be a smart decision to do.
I'm loving seeing this.
What?
He's my kind of guy. He went from 4 plates to 5 plates.
You go
He
plate
doesn't
by
count, percentages and kilograms. It's
Plate by
plates.
plate, yes.
yeah. So how much did you do today? Well, I'm gonna do 5 of them. Yeah, I like that.
We don't put on 25s or 5s.
Yeah.
But do as I say, not as I do. Same with bass. If you guys are progressively overloading properly, 2.5s are very underrated. And I think a lot of people overlook them, especially when, say on a deadlift, 4 plates, they got it for 5 reps. Don't put a 10 on. You could put a 5 maybe even, but if you can go up 2.5 pounds each side per week, that's an extra 20 pounds at the end of the month, which that's like 9 kilos around.
Yeah.
And you can keep stacking those
Yeah.
up month after month. And a lot of people, they don't take that into consideration, and they'll throw on a 25 and then they fail their lift.
Yeah.
And they wonder why, because it's too much of a jump for them.
I knew he was strong when I saw those quadriceps staring at me yesterday. So how many minutes rest has that been? How many? 7
Hey,
minutes?
there you go.
Okay.
That's good.
I like that.
I went against my 90-second rule.
Yeah.
I am going to start deadlifting again, though. I miss it.
There you go.
I miss doing it.
Love that.
I know,
Deadlift coach.
yeah.
Yeah, same.
Told him if he needs something.
Let's switch on for this, brother. Let's go. Yes. Nice. Let's go. Come on. You're in the groove now. Yes. Nice. Come on. Yes. Come on.
Push.
Up. 3. Let's get it, brother. Let's get it. Come on.
Go deep.
Up. 4. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Go deep.
Yes. Nice work. Come on. Last one. Yes. Beautiful. Nice work. Yeah.
Push.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, bro. No changing of technique from the first to second. A little bit slower.
Wow.
A little bit slower, but that was the
That was
perfect body position from start to finish. Nice. Nice.
They got,
crazy. You're so strong.
Ah,
I got
nice to
heavy
see a
first.
bodybuilder deadlifting to build muscles.
Very proud of you.
Good man. Good
I got
man.
very heavy. I don't know how heavy that looked.
It looks very easy.
This is how you know if you deadlift right, is if your legs are red afterwards.
Your entire body's red.
Oh yeah, thanks.
He's turned into Patrick Star.
I felt good. I miss deadlifting. That was nice.
Is that it for the deadlift? Do you do any
Oh yeah, I'll finish off on some rows and some pull downs. When I do some, we'll go over and do cable rows and superset them on pull downs.
So
Yeah.
next exercise, we're doing seated cable rows.
Yes.
What's your favorite grip position for this? Because I've got a few of these different handles.
Yeah. The one I usually use, I'll either go straight bar or I'll.
You like
one of
the
these
straight,
handles.
but well, that's okay. So
Yeah, it's similar to the mag
so
grip.
that's pronated. This is neutral, and this is supinated.
We'll do the neutral because it's more like,
Great.
yeah, neutral's fine.
Great. So
As long as you're able to get a lot of elbow drive,
Yeah.
that's all I really care about
Yeah.
with the row. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize is you can target different parts of your back just based off of your grip.
yeah,
Because you can do more of a, if you go pronated, neutral versus supinated, you're gonna feel a difference. For a lot of people, when they do supinated grip, they end up getting more bicep involved if they're not doing it properly.
yeah, yeah.
So a lot of my clients, I'll program just a pronated or a neutral grip.
Pronated or neutral is your preference. Yeah. To take the biceps out of the equation. Let's see how you row. I like that. You know, that reminds me of the way that Arnold Schwarzenegger rows. And I've had a few people that have asked me, I don't quite move that far.
Okay.
I move a little bit, but I look at it and it's like, yeah, sometimes I go further, sometimes I'm more rigid.
Right.
And I kind of consider them slightly different to each other. I don't think either are right or wrong, but what are your thoughts on that? What are you trying to achieve?
I don't think there's anything right or wrong. It's kind of the same thing with the pullovers.
Yeah.
I'm letting that weight pull me as much as I can. While I still want to keep my shoulders in a good position to not reach so far over to where
Yeah.
then my shoulders are rotating over.
Let me do a
But,
set.
Yeah. I think the way Arnold did his rows is completely fine.
Yeah.
Because again, he's keeping that lower lumbar spine in a straight neutral position. He's not letting that round out.
Yeah.
We can even see Bass has very thick erectors too.
Can you say that again?
You have thick erectors.
Thank you.
Which is from all those heavy squats and deadlifts and everything, but you can see his lower back still stays straight. It's fine if you're gonna, if you have that roundness in your upper back with rowing, that's not a problem. The issue is once you let that core stability go, you're gonna see it in your lower back.
Excuse me.
Wouldn't you agree too with core stability? As soon as that core goes, that's when you see the lower back
Yeah.
pop out.
Well, that's the thing that I saw with you is there's swinging and there's intentional movement.
Right.
So you're not letting momentum do anything here. You're
Correct.
controlling the weight up and down.
Right.
And that's what I liked about it. It's like, yeah, you can see the muscles doing the work rather than momentum.
Yes, and I think it's important for everyone's going to go through that phase where they just like to throw around some weight. But
Yeah.
if there's no intention behind the movement that you're doing,
Yeah.
you're not going to get as much out of it as you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. So are you thinking of a specific muscle contraction while you're doing this?
These I'm similar to pullovers where I'm just letting the weight pull me.
Yep.
And as soon as I come back, I like to think about as much elbow drive as I can get.
Yeah.
But almost when my lats are wrapped around the front, I'm thinking of trying to pull them back
Yep.
as hard as I can.
So what's the biggest target muscle?
These I like to get more mid-back,
Yeah.
mid into lower lats.
Yeah.
And then if you want to hit more upper back, you can always do a high row. That's why I do
get
with that
you,
straight
yeah.
bar. You can pull a high row or do a chest
So
support.
where would you say your elbows are landing here when you're pulling it?
Elbows.
So you're saying high rows, more upper back?
High
so
row, you're
that's
going to hit
not
more
where
of
you
that
are now?
upper back rear delt trap.
Yep.
Versus when I'm pulling here.
You're
I'm
keeping
trying to
your
drive
elbows pretty
elbows.
tucked.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. You know, I'll tell you what I like about whenever I see Danilo doing his sets, he kind of finishes with a partial or two, right? Yeah, so it's like, you
don't
don't
have a
just
training-
stop. I just stop.
If you don't have a training partner to help you finish the last couple reps.
That's your forced reps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a cue that I like is I always tell my clients pull the belly button.
Pull to the belly button.
Yeah, that helps
so
them a lot.
that's in the handle to the belly button here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Cues the same with me in the bench. It's like when I want to control where the elbows tuck, I'll tell them where I want to touch the body with the barbell.
Yep.
So same thing, to keep the elbows tucked, hit the belly button, and then when we're doing a high pull,
Pulling almost like right mid
yeah,
level.
we're going higher up on the pecs. That's a good one. We'll do another set of that.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to be done for the day. So we'll do, how many more sets? One more. One more set. All right, let's get into it. Anyway, Danilo,
Yes.
before you go, where can my audience find you if they want to look you up and see how shredded you are?
Instagram is at Danilo Sipovac. Same with my YouTube and TikTok. It's
Yep.
the same cross-platform.
Awesome. Go give this guy a like, a follow, and all of that stuff. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comment section. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
Good man.
you, of course.